You're listening to the official start of your NFL week. You're listening to the opening whistle. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the opening whistle right here on the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. As you know, you can follow us on Twitter at the Slam Sessions, and you can follow us now on Facebook at, well, it's facebook.com/the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. We're getting technical. It's good. And, of course, you can follow Avi on Twitter.
Yes, you can, at Avi Schiffman 88.
There we go.
And nobody tweets me, so it's not working out, the Twitter so far.
Well, I'm not cool with this. People, if you're listening, tweet Avi. He's lonely.
Yeah, lonely.
I don't like this. Tell him he does a great job. Tell him he's good looking even through the radio. That's what everybody else
Albert,
does.
Stop it.
Well, this is a great week for us to come back. It's actually funny because scheduling actually permitted us from doing stuff last week. It kind of almost works out because with all the free agent signings that happened since then, this kind of jam-packs this podcast in right now.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for this this one. This is a fun one. There's a lot of this is probably the most exciting free agency period I can remember. All these things going on in the off season. I mean, all the things going on. It's pretty exciting.
There's a lot of huge names that are changing teams.
Yeah.
A lot of
you don't see that too often.
No, some big names that are re-signing with teams that you didn't think were going to re-sign. There's a lot going on in free agency this year, and I love this is actually one of my favorite periods in football. I love, Super Bowl's over. We get like a 2-week lull where, you kind of just talk about the game, and then free agency kicks in. And it just winds up being like some huge names wind up changing teams, some big things wind up happening, and, there's a lot of stuff to get into with this one. A lot of stuff to get into. You got the Patriots, who probably won the offseason. Surprisingly, they probably won the offseason so far. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, you got all the Romo drama. I'm all sad that he gets released and then he's not released. So yeah.
I'm like just waiting for him to just go already because he's still a Cowboy. He's still a Cowboy.
So you guys still got him for a little bit more.
Still got him for a little bit more. We got a lot of good signs we want to get into. Where do you want to start?
You know what? Screw it. We're talking about it. Let's start with Romo.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, I've been excited about this one.
So go for it. I mean, look, here, as a Cowboys fan, how do you feel right now? I mean, you get. We'll run down a timeline real quick. You get the alert on your phone, Cowboys to release Tony Romo. And I know you put up a big status on Facebook about how you felt about that.
Yeah, well, I meant every word of it. Romo's been, the rock for the Cowboys. He's been, the quarterback for the last decade, been their everything. He turned the franchise around, undrafted. And, like I said, he's a big reason I became a huge Cowboys fan. It's just, you see he's released, and then you find out Jerry Jones pulls his tricks. I don't know what's going on. He's not released. He's still a Cowboy. They're going to try to trade him. It's, let's just start off where I think there's obviously the Denver and Houston. That's what everybody talks about.
Of course.
I was talking to you about it. You're a big Jets fan. I was saying I don't understand why the Jets don't go after him. Now he's not a free agent, but, I don't understand why the Jets, they're talking about getting Jay Cutler.
This is what bothers me. We sit here every week and, we watch all this stuff that goes down. And as a Jets fan, you always think that, maybe they're going to pull the trigger on some big deal. And they did, as far as I can remember, the one big deal they really did pull their trigger on is when they got Brett Favre. Other than that, at the quarterback position, they've been lacking. Now, we know that they don't trust who they have on their roster right now. Geno Smith is a free agent, and Geno Smith is actually getting looks from three teams.
And he should listen. I think he's the best quarterback on the roster right now.
So I mean that's a good thing. We obviously know Fitzpatrick is gone, so the Jets want a transitional quarterback. They don't know if Petty or Hackenberg are the quarterbacks of the future. There's so many rumors that they're going to draft another quarterback, which blow my brains out. 6 years in a row, I think this will be now that they're drafting a quarterback in the first 2 picks of the draft. They got to stop. They got to, if they haven't found him through the draft yet, they need to figure something else out. Why not? They've dropped so much money. We're going to talk about Brandon Marshall. We're going to talk about, Darrelle Revis is gone. Nick Mangold. These are huge names who made a huge amount of money that are all gone. Why wouldn't you go out and get the best available quarterback on the market in Tony Romo? Or even if you don't go after Romo, why aren't they even, considering Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, I agree. First of all, look at that division. They're not beating the Patriots.
No,
they're
no one
fighting
is.
for a wild card at best.
Exactly.
And they need.
And Miami won the wild card last year, so it's
and
doable.
Buffalo's still a decent team.
Right, but
they're
it's
probably still better
doable.
than the Jets. Right, exactly. But if they get a guy like Romo, put him out there. I know he's he could break his back any time, but you put him out there, it gives him a better chance to win, a better chance at a wild card. Jets fans will be excited for Romo. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would love to have Romo.
Me personally, I would. I know there are a lot of people that are like, "Oh, he's going to break. He's made of glass." The second that guy gets signed, everybody's going to be like, "Well, we have a real quarterback."
How's Ryan Fitzpatrick turn out last year?
Yeah, well,
I think Romo will be a great fit on the Jets. It's probably not going to happen. Most likely, I don't hear anything about it. It's probably not going to happen. But I don't understand why the Jets are. If the Jets go get Jay Cutler, I mean, that's just. Come on.
They can't see me rubbing my head right now in anguish.
Jay Cutler,
Come on. Cutler might be my quarterback.
Let's be done with Jay Cutler. The guy's done. The guy. I don't know why the guy gets looks anymore. The guy is finished as a quarterback.
The thing is that Cutler is actually not a terrible quarterback.
And
he's
proven. How would he fit in New York with the media?
Oh
New York
my God!
Media, come on.
Would destroy him.
No. Yeah.
Would destroy him. So, but as far as Romo, I mean, you mentioned the two teams that you think he was going to go to, and I think we both settled on one team where we think he's going to settle.
Right, and I said the Houston Texans.
I agree.
Denver makes sense. Also, obviously, it makes a lot of sense.
They do.
It makes a lot of sense, but Houston makes so much sense. He stay in Texas. Go to the AFC. That division is very winnable. Obviously, every year. Houston, they had number one defense last year. J.J. Watt will come back healthy. They have Clowney. They have the defense. The receiver. What am I missing his name? I'm blanking.
Nuke.
Who's the
DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins. What did you call him?
Nuke Hopkins.
Is that his name?
Yeah,
okay.
Nuke was his nickname. I don't know why.
I drew a blank there. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
He'll be revitalized. He had Brock Osweiler throwing to him. Well, not anymore. We'll talk about Brock Osweiler after.
That is, man.
Imagine Romo and DeAndre Hopkins. He has that number one. It makes so much sense for Romo to go out. But you know what? Romo is still a Cowboy. And until he's released, the team's going to have to trade for him. The team doesn't want to give up, so much for him, clearly. So
you see, that's the thing. I mean, here's the question you ask yourself when you're a team that's in need of a quarterback. We have Chicago, who, we're going to go into them. They signed one. But there are so many teams that are desperate for a quarterback. Do you trade your first-round pick, where you may be thinking about drafting a quarterback, for a guy who probably has 3 or 4 years left in the tank and could possibly get you into the playoffs? Or do you plan for the future of your franchise?
I mean, man, Romo. First of all, let me ask you: what do they think? What are the Do you think Romo asked for a release, or you think that? I mean, I would have to assume if he asked for a release, that they would release him.
I think if you're Romo, you want to release because you got to think that you're going to get a big contract.
I'm just curious as to why they didn't release him. I don't understand. To trade, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm just not settling for anything. They should get something good in return. Like I said, Sam Bradford went for a first and a fourth.
Yeah.
Romo should go for at least that.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably more.
And, Bradford's been hurt also. What is Bradford in his career? Romo's an established quarterback who's done it before. Yeah, okay? He's only won 2 playoff games, but he's a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy.
The funny thing is, you bring up Sam Bradford. A lot of people aren't talking about how quarterback needy the Vikings are. Teddy Bridgewater's not starting this year.
I didn't even think about that. I think Romo would be a great fit with the Vikings, too. He'd be a great fit for a lot of teams.
And I don't understand why nobody's bringing up the fact that, Sam Bradford had a crap year. The Vikings are moving on from a lot of different people on their, on their team. We're going to get into one of the big signings they made at running back, but they're moving on from a lot of people. Who says that Sam Bradford's the quarterback next year? I mean, we know that Teddy Bridgewater is not ready. He's not going to be ready for the start of the season.
Right.
Why aren't they in the sweepstakes for Romo?
I don't know, but it just seems like it's going to come down to Denver. Ultimately, I think that Romo will get released at the end of the day.
I kind of have the same feeling.
And he's going to be on Houston or he's going to be on Denver.
Who do you think can throw him the most money, though?
I mean, well, Houston got rid of, I don't know, I mean, kudos to their GM. I don't know how they did that, how they got rid of that contract. I don't know, they gave him to the Browns, And
then immediately the Browns are talking about releasing him. I mean, this is just the craziest free agency thing this is something you don't see, and I loved seeing it, and I was like, this is insane.
It was shocking. I mean, they were talking about how they might not even keep him.
Yeah, they said they were going to cut him. They traded for him to cut him.
Honestly, the guy is a backup at best in this league.
I agree.
And He shouldn't be the starting quarterback for Cleveland next year. I hope they're not. They're smarter than that.
He's going to be if he stays.
I think that Cleveland,
contract dictates him being the starting quarterback.
I mean, I don't know, but I think Cleveland should draft a quarterback, in my opinion.
How well has that worked out for him, though?
Right, that's true. But you know what? Listen, you need a quarterback to win. You have to take a chance.
I agree.
But they have the second pick. What do they have? The first pick? What do they have? The first pick?
They probably have the first pick. They almost didn't win any games, so they have to have the first pick, right?
Right. So yeah, right. That's true.
It's so sad.
Yeah, that's true. I think they won one game. RG3 is gone. That was
yeah.
That was fun.
This is
But just. Romo, if I had to bet my money, he'll be on Houston next year. I would love to see it. I want to see him have a chance to win.
He goes to a contender. He goes to a team that made the playoffs with a crap quarterback.
But ultimately, I really want to see him on the Jets because he'll be in New Jersey. He'll be here. You get to watch, him all the time. That'd be awesome.
I agree.
But it's unlikely. But we'll see what happens with that.
Well, I mean, there's two other big names that are still out there in free agency. Probably maybe the two biggest names as of right now. They're both running backs. They're both aging running backs who maybe not, you don't know where they're going to be next year. Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson. What do you think? I mean, there was a lot of rumors for Adrian Peterson going to the Giants. We'll get into the Giants a little bit later. They already made a huge free agent splash. Do you think they have the money to bring in somebody like AP too?
I mean, I don't know how much he's going to want AP. At this point in his career,
you have to know that whoever's going to get him is going to pay him.
I think he'd be a great fit. I mean, I hate the Giants, but I think he'd be a great fit for the Giants. I mean, they need a running back. He'd be a great fit for the Giants.
I know.
But I don't understand the. I mean, maybe listen. Actually, you know what? The Vikings are smart. They got Latavius Murray, who had a huge year.
Yeah.
He's young. And
he's got fresh legs. I want to. All right, we'll save that a little bit for when we talk about him. But I mean, that was a big pickup for them.
Right.
But I think they were smart by getting rid of Adrian Peterson. I mean, I know he a lot of that franchise was anchored to Adrian Peterson. But at the same point, you have to start rebuilding at one point. You have to move on from somebody like that.
If I was Adrian Peterson, I just come and back up Zeke Elliott. Come to the Cowboys. Why not? Try to get a ring. But he doesn't want that. Adrian Peterson, he still can do it. All
he's a number one no matter what.
Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago he ran for, he had that
Nobody has
season?
Ever come off of an ACL tear and, led the league in rushing yards until Adrian Peterson.
Listen.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I would take a chance with Adrian Peterson. I would pay him. I would do it.
I would take an Adrian Peterson at 70% over half the running backs in the league.
Absolutely. The guy's a Hall of Fame running back, and he's a monster. He's a beast, know? I would go after him. I think the Giants. Yeah, it's true. I don't know how much the Giants are willing to pay, but listen, there's a lot of teams that need a running back. How
about the Bucks? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Doug Martin. He got suspended for a couple of games at the end of the season.
That's right.
He got hurt. He didn't produce well. Maybe a team like that could be looking. I mean, but again, another team that made a really big free agency splash this so far too. Yeah. Do they have the money to do it?
Are the Jets in the running?
Matt Forte is still and Bilal Powell are still there. As a matter of fact, that might be the most solid part that they have on their team.
Right.
But the other big running back on the market right now is Jamal Charles.
Right.
These are two guys where you don't know where they're going to end up.
It's a different story. I don't know if health-wise, I don't know if
I don't see him as a number one. I see him being in a situation like Cincinnati.
He'd be a great number two. Yeah, he'd be great. Yeah.
Or even a 1A, 1B. Cincinnati like to use that running back by committee with Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah.
I mean, so that could be something that another team can look into, given Jamal Charles a 50% workload.
Right. It's kind of sad, to see. Romo's not going to be a Cowboy most likely, and Peterson leaving the Vikings.
Jamal Charles leaving the Chiefs. These are three huge.
Yeah, Jamal Charles.
I mean, think about it. 2 or 3 years ago, you're doing fantasy football. First rounders, Jamal Charles, Adrian Peterson, Tony Romo. I mean, these are guys that everybody talks about to be and they're anchored to certain franchises. It's a big turnover in the NFL.
It's going to be cool to see them on different teams.
It's going to be weird to see them in different uniforms.
Yeah, unless Adrian Peterson retires, which I doubt he will.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
He's got too much left in the tank.
He won't. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on a little bit now to some of the teams that made some big splash in free agency. We kind of touched on one team, so we'll kind of finish that off.
Yeah.
The Browns not only picked up Kenny Britt, which I think was a smart move for them. You need an experienced wide receiver on that team.
I like him a lot.
I think Kenny Britt's been very underrated. I think that.
But he needs a quarterback.
He does. I think the Rams have been trying to move on from him for a little while. I think they see a lot in Brian Quick.
He hasn't played. Kenny Britt hasn't had a really good quarterback. He's played with.
He hasn't.
played with Vince Young, I think, early on in his career.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
But he's actually, I mean, he turned into a really big receiver towards the end of the year for a guy. I mean, it was, Jared Goff's throwing the ball to him.
I like what the Browns are doing, except for the Osweiler trade, which I don't get. But
yeah, let's get into that. I mean, Kenny Britt. I mean, we can just say he's a solid probably a number 2 wide receiver, a guy with experience who's going to help out their, that franchise, with leadership.
Yeah.
But man, this Brock Osweiler trade. I mean, that let me scratch in my head.
Yeah, like I said, kudos to the Texans for getting rid of that contract. I don't understand. Osweiler, I don't know what they're doing, the Browns. Do they listen? They could take a flight. They could just play him, throw him out there for 1 year, see what he's got. But clearly, he's got nothing. Why him going to the Browns? I don't get it. I just think that they're gonna draft a quarterback, and I don't know. Maybe they're gonna draft a quarterback and start the rookie right away.
Or maybe they draft a quarterback and redshirt him.
They have what's his name from last year, the USC guy.
Oh my God. Well, no, wait. Let's see. So RG3 was the original quarterback. He left.
Cody Kessler.
Cody Kessler. There it is.
Right.
And then they had. Did
they release him?
I don't know.
Maybe.
They had Hogan. I know that.
Yeah. McCown.
McCown's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Yeah.
There's another name that came up in the Jets. Just talk.
Well, who's going to be? Listen. It's going to be, I would assume, Osweiler. It's going to be the rookie, whoever they draft a quarterback.
I mean, I'm assuming that if they really want to, if they're smart, they do what the Rams did. A lot of people kind of second guess the Rams on starting doing what they did with Jared Goff. I actually think they did the right thing. Let him sit out for a little bit. Get him comfortable, get him rolling the playbook, and then bring him in.
We'll see
I think they can do that with a guy like Osweiler. Here's the thing. You know that the Browns are not making the playoffs. You know they're not going to be a competitive team. So why not give a guy like Osweiler a chance to maybe redeem himself for with that organization, do some good things, can go somewhere and be maybe a successful backup for a team.
Yeah.
After that, and then move on from him.
If I had to bet, I don't see it happening with him. I don't know. I don't see it lasting. It just doesn't.
I agree.
It doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't seem like the right fit for him. And I just think he's a backup at best. Last year was a disaster.
Yeah.
He got his money, and look what happened. Listen, they made the playoffs, but like I said, if they can win. I
think they could have made the playoffs with me at quarterback.
Exactly. That's why my point for Tony Romo. If he goes there, that's
then they're not only they're not just a team that makes the playoffs, they're a contender.
Exactly, they're a contender. But I don't know what's going to happen with Osweiler. I don't know.
I don't know either.
That was just more of a head scratcher. This isn't like a big pickup or anything. This is just more of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about this, because Brock Osweiler. What's there really to talk about with him?
Yeah. Well, in talking to the Browns, they picked up Kenny Britt, but they actually lost one of their top wide receiver from last year. The Redskins scooped up Terrell Pryor. I'm
surprised by that. Surprised he didn't stay in Cleveland. I thought he liked it there.
That's a great move. The thing is that he goes from a team that is in the garbage to a team that always has they always seem to be in the talks of being a playoff caliber team.
Right.
It looks like they're going to keep hanging their hat on their quarterback. Kirk Cousins looks like he's going to come back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that situation.
But you know what? Cousins is not he's not a bad quarterback, and I think Terrell Pryor would be a really good addition. The idea of the option reads with he can throw. He used to be a quarterback. He can he was a running back.
Right.
A little bit last year. He does a little bit of everything, and I think that is actually a really big benefit to a guy like Cousins.
Well, they had to make a move. They had to get a receiver after losing to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And then the Giants go ahead and get Brandon Marshall. And then you have the Cowboys. That division. Think about the receivers. Alshon Jeffrey going in there. They have to keep up with these teams. The teams are getting better. I don't see Washington. It's a mess over there. It seems like in Washington with the Cousins thing. So, it was a good pickup for them. They lost Pierre Garçon.
Yeah.
They need Terrell Pryor has to have a big year for them because he's their guy.
A lot of people were scratching their head too because I think they thought that maybe they try to go after somebody a little bit bigger. But I actually think Terrell Pryor was a good pickup. I think he's so underrated, and I think playing in a better, better.
And now he has a quarterback.
Yeah, he's playing in a better scheme, and I think he's going to do a great job there.
Yeah, and he has a quarterback now. He has Kirk Cousins. Terrell Pryor's played with pretty much garbage for this, beginning of his career. Definitely a good pickup. Like I said, they have to keep up with the other signings in that division with the receivers. Do the best that they can do. I don't think they're a playoff team, but
stranger things have happened.
Right, stranger things have happened.
And in that division, anything can happen. I think the assumption is that the Cowboys will probably win a division again.
Yeah.
And then there are three teams that are A couple years ago, I called that one of the weakest divisions in football because it was. There was a group of 8 and 6 teams.
It could be the worst division, and it could be the best.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, there was a group of 8 and 8 teams, and all of them fighting for a playoff spot.
Right.
And now, it's become one of the most competitive divisions of football.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you never know. It's true. You never know in that division, but talent-wise, you know, obviously the Cowboys are still at the top. They haven't done much in free agency or anything yet. So
do they need to?
I think they needed to. I think they needed some defensive help. I don't know. We'll see what they do in the draft. But they should have made some moves. They made some moves. They got a corner. They got this and that.
Well, speaking of corners, it looks like Claiborne actually might be going to the Jets.
Yeah, you told me that. You told me about this before. I didn't see that. You know, Claiborne. You know, as a Cowboy fan, he's. I don't know, you call him a bust. You know, he had a big year last year. You know, he stepped up. It took him a few years. I don't know when he was drafted. It took him like a few years to get, you know, he was, I think, the 6th pick overall.
Yep. And
he didn't show much. But last year he had a good season. Yeah, I think it would be, I don't mind losing him. You know, the Cowboys got a corner. They got Carroll from Philly. You know, Claiborne, we'll see how we do. We'll see if it was a 1-year thing for him. We'll see. But he is a very talented guy. And
he is. And I think he's a good fit for the Jets.
Okay. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, we'll see. It's nothing set in stone, but it looks like, from what I read a couple minutes before, he's
not going to be he's not going to be Revis. I mean, the Revis of old.
But nobody's going to. Right. Look. The Jets got lucky. That's probably the best player in their franchise over the past 10 years. So,
right.
Well, let's stay in that division. We talked about the Cowboys a little bit. We talked about the Redskins, and I mean, 2 of the biggest signings. Wide receiver signings were in that division too. You want to? You know what? Yeah, all right. You know what? We'll start with the Eagles because I don't know if I'm ready if I'm prepared to talk about the Giants yet. Alshon Jeffrey was the biggest wide receiver out there, and I, for one, didn't see him landing in the Eagles.
I didn't see that at all. First of all, I think he got a 1-year deal. I think it was very smart of the Eagles to do that. Give him 1 year, and for him too, and this motivates him, to play well. He didn't last year. He didn't. He missed. I think he played only how many? Oh, he only had 2 touchdowns last year.
Right.
He did not have a good season. He got suspended. He did not have a good season.
And by that same point, it was a lot of things were working against him.
Right.
And when you have Jay Cutler, who was just messed with in that organization so bad.
Right.
Throwing the ball to you, it's it's a demoralizing thing for him. But I think this is a good move.
He gets hurt a lot, but he's a real talent. I don't think he could be a great number 1. I think he's a great number 2.
Oh yeah,
great with him and
absolutely
with him and Brandon Marshall playing together.
When they were in
Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
But it's a big pickup for Philly. Big pickup for Carson Wentz.
Oh, that's the big thing. Yeah. I think that's what you give Carson Wentz a big target. You give him a big name target. You give him a big target in size. Alshon Jeffrey is that kind of a wide receiver that really markets well to what the Eagles really need to do right now, which is they have to trust their quarterback that they've hung their hat on. They dropped, Sam Bradford for this guy. Sam Bradford looked like he was going to be their starter. There was a lot of contention going on last year in free agency, but they said, you know what? Carson Wentz is going to be our quarterback. And he didn't. I mean, I'm not going to say he knocked the doors off, but he didn't disappoint.
He didn't disappoint. He's only going to get better.
Exactly.
He's legit. I don't think he's going to be great. He's going to be a very good quarterback in the league for a long time. I think so. But yeah, you got Jeffrey. You got a receiver now. Hopefully he stays healthy. I don't like to see him go to Philly.
Of course not.
Everybody's going to the NFC East. All these receivers. Teams are getting better. But I think it's a good pickup for them. The Eagles, like I said, mostly for Wentz. It's good for Wentz. It motivates Jeffrey to have a big season. He's at a 1-year deal to get that big contract he wants. But I think it was very smart of Philly to give him that 1 year.
I agree. Well, now let's move on to the Giants. And this
you're so beat up on this.
It broke my heart.
Yeah,
it really did.
It was really you think about it. It's Brandon Marshall. It was a very good pickup. It really was. It was smart. Him and Odell.
I saw it coming a mile away. Brandon Marshall came to the Jets a few years ago, and he said, "I want to retire in New York." He's doing media. He's on TV. He's transitioning from an active player into his next career move, which is he's going to be a TV personality.
He loves New York,
which he's great at it. He really is.
I don't like him so much.
I love him.
You do? I don't
do.
like him. I don't like him. I don't like his personality.
You know what it is? He kind of speaks his mind and he doesn't care.
I don't know.
And I kind of like that. I kind of like a guy who just says, you know what? I don't give a crap. This is the way I feel. Take it.
We disagree on that. I don't like him.
That's fair. I mean, look, everybody's gonna have fans. So my thing was, well, you hear I'm going to retire in New York. Well, this is great. I get to see Brandon Marshall retire in a Jets uniform. That was and I was happy for it. I was. I really thought that I was going to get to see that, and I thought we had a great 1-2 with him and Eric Decker.
Right.
To see the Jets release him, and then immediately seeing after that, knowing that he asked for his release. I knew immediately he was going to go to the Giants, and I knew the second it was going to happen, it was going to break my heart.
Well, it could be a good thing that he went to the Giants because, I was thinking about it. Brandon Marshall's never been to the playoffs. Maybe it's a curse of Brandon Marshall. Maybe they won't make the playoffs now. Maybe they're Maybe he's,
Maybe. I mean, maybe you're right. But this is the year where
him and Odell, that's a deadly combo. That's a good combo right there, right?
It's too good.
Yeah,
it's too good. It infuriates me. I don't like to see the Giants get better. It's funny that you being a Cowboys fan and me being a Jets fan, you figure there's not a lot for us to agree on. But our hate of the Giants is probably the one thing we can agree on.
Well, this combo, I mean, it's great, but I think we're going to talk about it soon. There's another wide receiver combo that I think is better than this team picked up a big receiver. Soon, but
yeah, no, I know where you're going with that.
But Brandon Marshall, how does he compliment Odell, man?
And the thing I like about Brandon Marshall is immediately he gets, he's been around the New York media for a couple of years. They, the first thing they do is they ask, who's number one, who's number two, and Brandon Marshall immediately.
Giants fans are going to love him too. I know.
They are. They're already every person who I know that is a Giants fan, and I grew up in New York.
But can he stay healthy? He hasn't. We'll see.
But he's always healthy. The guy gets banged up in the middle of a game, looks like he's going to be pulled. I can't tell you how many heart attacks I've had over the past 2 years going, oh, my God, Brandon Marshall's on the floor. Oh, my God, Brandon Marshall's on the floor. And 2 plays later, he's back in the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he usually does stay healthy. Early in his career, the big problem with him is he couldn't stay out of trouble, and now he does.
And now Eli, it's such a big pickup for Eli, too.
We talked a couple of episodes ago about how we thought Eli was done. This wide receiver combination resurrects Eli's career.
I know, and if you give him a running back now,
oh man,
you give him AP. Oh no,
I hope not. Anybody. Yeah. You add a decent running back from free agency that can complement one of the like 6 guys they had last year, whoever they think is going to be best. The Giants are a contender.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it.
It's going to be
the Giants are a contender.
I mean, obviously, every year football's awesome. It's going to be a great year next year, but that division is going to be pretty fun next year.
It's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be competitive. I'm nervous. I'm not the Cowboys. There's no gimmies, but man.
Well, I mean, we'll talk. You talked about wide receivers. You want to start with this one, the combination you think is actually better than the Giants?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm talking about Deshaun Jackson to the Bucks. Right away, when you see that pickup, you think Mike Evans. And then Deshaun Jackson. I think that is the best 1-2 punch in football right now. I think so. How
well does Tampa Bay set up their team for Jameis Winston?
I know, right?
Oh man, let me tell you. There's been a lot of talk with Jameis and Mariota. They started off they had 1-2 in the draft, first game playing against each other, and then it was an up and down game for both of them. Mariota was the better quarterback, but then Winston was, and then Mariota was the better quarterback, and then Winston was. I think Mariota took a big step forward last year, and I said on this podcast I think he was going to be the guy next year who's going to be the best up and coming player in the league.
Yeah,
I might want to take that back and talk about Jameis Winston a little bit with this pickup.
Man, yeah. First of all, Mike Evans is one of the best receivers in football. He's awesome.
He's underrated.
Awesome. So underrated.
The most underrated wide receiver in football.
So good. And now imagine how big of a season he's going to have next year.
Oh, my God. He's going to be a monster.
Deshaun Jackson, it just seems Deshaun Jackson, you think like he's getting older. Just every year it seems like he gets 1,000 yards every single season.
And, I think a lot of people were actually expecting Deshaun Jackson might have gone back to the Eagles, which would have been a big pickup for them, too.
Absolutely.
And, out of nowhere, Eagles signed Alshon Jeffrey, and I went, oh, man, what does that mean for Deshaun Jackson? And then, boom, I see him get picked up by Tampa Bay. I went, man, Great move, Tampa Bay.
Jameis Winston is going to have a monster year in fantasy next year.
Oh my God!
And he was big last year.
Let me tell you something. If look, we're gonna eventually, obviously, me and Avi are both huge fantasy football fans. We're gonna get into doing a couple of fantasy football shows as it draws near.
That sounds good.
That is your dark horse right there. Jameis Winston with those receivers, that is your quarterback dark horse. That's a guy who's not going to go in the first 5 rounds, and somebody's going to get him in round 6 and the middle of the round and settle. I think they're settling on him as a quarterback because he's not that big of a name and is going to put up monster numbers.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think he's going to go now with these guys. He had I don't fantasy football. I'm not as. I mean, I'm into fantasy football, but I don't know as much about like you do. You're like a diehard fantasy football guy. You're in like 6 leagues. I was in one, but I just think about it. Jameis Winston. I mean, I'm seeing how many touchdowns am I seeing from him this year? I'm seeing a huge year, 35, 40 touchdowns maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the last big.
I think that was the pickup of the offseason.
That was the pickup of the offseason.
I think so. More than Jeffrey, more than Marshall. I mean, they help both of those guys help the other teams, but I think Deshaun Jackson, for what he has a young quarterback. He has Mike Evans with him. Yeah.
I mean, it was a strong 1 and 2. I think the Bucs
and the Bucs are a team now.
Yeah,
and they're going to have to fight with the Falcons.
If the Bucs can find the right recipe at running back, they are going to be they're
Doug Martin's. He's.
And we don't know if he's going to be there next year.
At the end, yeah.
We don't know.
Maybe they draft a running back.
Maybe they draft a running back.
This draft this year, I don't know if you looked, it's very deep this year.
There's a lot
of good running backs too.
And look at you have guys that come out of the 3rd, 4th round and wind up being major stars in this league, and the Bucs could find somebody like that.
Right.
Speaking of running backs, a couple of huge additions. One that surprised me and one that didn't too much. The one that didn't surprise me much, but I thought was an excellent pickup. Latavius Murray to the Vikings.
Yeah, it's a really good pickup. You go from Adrian Peterson, but now you get a younger running back who came from a team last year who was a great team. They lost Derek Carr from the Raiders. He's a part of a winning team, but he's going to make that team much better.
I mean, here's the thing about Latavius Murray. The reason why I thought that this was such a big pickup for the Vikings is that they upgraded.
Yeah.
They let go of Adrian Peterson, and they upgraded to a guy like Latavius Murray, who a lot of people think may have lost a step. But what they don't realize is that the Raiders were so smart last year. Instead of running Latavius Murray into the ground, they took him and they let him sit on the bench for a couple of plays and let Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington take over at running back for a considerable amount of games. They saved Latavius Murray. And they saved his legs, and unfortunately, they saved his legs for the Vikings.
And also, it seems like he's a touchdown machine. You get on that goal line, he's getting in there. He's getting in there, and that's why it was just smart pickup. Getting
I was actually surprised to see the Raiders not try to bring him back, but I mean, kudos to the Vikings. That's the biggest running.
What are the Raiders now? What's their running back situation?
As far as I know, I mean, Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington were the 2 guys that were there last year.
Big loss. It's a big loss for them.
It is, and I know that they were high on DeAndre Washington. DeAndre Washington was my Mr. Irrelevant in every league last year.
Hey, maybe they go after AP.
They could. They could. But I know they were very high on him. And then as the season went on, they really got into Jalen Richard. So I don't know where that leaves either of them. Maybe it's a running back by committee there, and they pick up somebody else.
I just hope they don't lose a step because I really like the Raiders. I like Derek Carr.
I want to see Derek Carr be successful. I'm really upset that he got hurt last year.
I think he'll bounce back. He'll have a bigger, but that's a big loss for them.
It really is.
It's a big loss for them. So we'll see with that.
And then, Seattle goes from having beast mode to a mess to feast mode.
What does it say about AP that they went after a 270-pound running back over Adrian Peterson?
Money?
Maybe money, but Eddie Lacy, I mean, he's going to be Marshawn Lynch. He just seems like he's going to be the Marshawn Lynch.
Everybody's called him feast mode now. I think it kind of fits.
I think he's got an incentive in his contract if he loses, 30 pounds or whatever, sticks to it. You got, But Seahawks, it just seems like you go to Seahawks. I mean, I don't know. You go to Seahawks, he's going to a winning team.
He is.
They're going to be good, obviously, next year. Eddie Lacy, we'll see how he is with how he deals with his weight. But it's just crazy how that guy does what he does at that weight.
He does. He's a monster.
It's amazing.
Everybody, here's the thing: you want to rag on a guy about his weight, that's fine. But if the guy is more athletic at 270 pounds than a guy, than a normal guy is at 235, 240, why not just let him do what he wants to do? I mean, unless it's really physically altering his health to the point where his knees are getting hurt because he's that much overweight. If he's better at 270, let him be 270. Let him be fat. Let Eddie Lacy be fat.
Yeah, let him be fat. All right, it's fine. If he performs, who cares? Unless he has a heart attack on the field, then they're gonna regret it.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think it was a good pickup for the Seahawks. I mean, they moved on from Christian Michael. Thomas Rawls doesn't seem like he's the answer that everybody kind of thought he was going to be.
Which is shocking. I thought he was going to be,
I thought so too. It looked like it. But he did get hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe, next year with him in the backfield with Eddie Lacy, this could be, something that's, that Seattle's got cooking.
Yeah.
And you always know that Russell Wilson is a threat with his legs too.
Right. And that in that division, you have the Rams, you have the Niners. They're not going to be in contention, in my opinion. Yeah. And who am I missing? Man, I'm drawing blank. Who am I missing in the West? Seattle and Arizona.
There
you go.
Who will be competitive?
Yeah, Arizona will be competitive.
As always.
This is a big year for Bruce Arians too, I think.
I'm actually surprised that
they're getting Arizona Fitzgerald back, I think.
Yeah, they are, but I'm really surprised that they haven't made a lot of noise in free agency. I thought this was going to be the year where they were going to go out and get somebody to.
I know it's the Carson Palmer thing. He's older. You can't. I don't know if you could trust him. They're a quarterback away too. That team. Romo. What about Romo? They're talking about Romo to the Arizona too. I've heard about that too.
And
that would make a lot of sense.
That'd be great for them. I mean, the thing about Arizona is that if they what they really should do is maybe take a chance on a guy like Kaepernick. And the reason why I say that is don't start him. But we know that Carson Palmer winds up getting hurt. And Drew Stanton is not a good quarterback. He's not a good backup. Right. Imagine Kaepernick coming in and helping out. I think he can help out that team. It's the right system for a guy like Kaepernick.
Right. And, he gets so much flack from what happened last year, from all that stuff with him.
You can sit there and talk.
I don't think he's a great quarterback.
I don't think so either. But I think he's better than people make him out to be.
Absolutely.
After that,
and I think he's a better option also for the Jets than Jay Cutler.
I don't agree with that.
If people aren't going to sign Kaepernick because of what he did last year, it's ridiculous.
Look, here's the thing. I just don't think that the Jets should be going after a guy like Kaepernick or Cutler at all, or Josh McCown. I don't think they should be in the market for any of those guys.
Right.
I just don't think any of them are a good fit.
Ultimately, the Jets, they have to start from the bottom. They have to rebuild. This is a rebuilding mode. They can't try to make the playoffs, try to get the fans all hyped up. Oh, we're going for the playoffs, because they're not going to make it. I mean, look, they're not as good as the Patriots. They're not going to be until Tom Brady retires. And
they're not as good as the Dolphins, and they're probably not as good as the Bills either.
Exactly. They're not. They're not a good team, and they made a mistake last year bringing back Fitzpatrick, which I thought they did. There's no way he was going to have that year he did the year before. Fine, they brought him back.
I agree. I think they got him for the best amount of money that they could have. I don't trust Geno Smith.
Drafting Christian Hackenberg where they drafted him.
Stupid.
And Bryce Petty.
How different could this season be right now that we could be talking about the fact that the Jets found their future franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott, but instead they drafted Christian Hackenberg. Yeah. This will burn. And
Geno Smith also, second round pick. Geno Smith.
Again, another system.
Mark Sanchez.
But here's the thing: I don't mind Mark Sanchez.
No, right, okay.
I think they did the right thing in signing Sanchez. He made the playoffs 2 years.
Well, they
in
traded
a row.
a lot to trade up to get him. They traded everything to get him.
And I think he was worth it at that point.
Right.
Geno Smith was not worth the second round pick. Bryce Petty was not worth the second round pick.
Right.
Christian Hackenberg was not worth. None of these quarterbacks were worth drafting where they drafted them.
Right. Well, this isn't. We're talking about football now, but it just. The Knicks, I don't know if you know about the Knicks, how much of a mess they are. It just reminds me, the Jets and the Knicks are very similar franchises.
They are.
The management, you just don't know what they're thinking. The ownership, you just don't know. Because I'm a big Knicks fan, and it's a mess over there. But the Jets, I don't know what they are doing. If they draft a quarterback, I mean, you're watching the draft.
Yeah.
You don't want a quarterback.
Nope.
In that first round.
No.
You don't want a quarterback at all.
Unless they draft a quarter. They can draft a quarterback anywhere past the fourth round.
Right.
If they draft a quarterback that they see,
were they picking? Are they in top 10? Yeah, they are in top 10.
They are.
Man,
everything is a quarterback or a running back, and why? All right, I get it. Matt Forte isn't gonna be around forever.
Right.
Bilal Powell is awesome. He had a great year last year. So yeah, okay, maybe they might need a little help in the running game, but fix the problems you have now.
They need a lot. Wide receiver, they need a lot of help.
They have their wide receivers right now. They have once again Eric Decker is the number one wide receiver. That is not a recipe for the Jets to be successful.
No,
we saw what happened a couple years ago when Decker came in.
You know what? They just need a pick. What are they going to go for? They should get the best receiver in the draft.
I agree.
Best receiver, then draft a quarterback. Whatever. Get a quarterback late. They have a lot of holes to fill, and they better get it right.
They need to draft a wide receiver first round. That is their biggest hole right now. They lost Brandon Marshall. Anunwa played well. A couple other guys that they had, like Devin Smith, was a big name. We don't know what's happening with him.
Yeah.
We don't know what's guys like Jalen Marshall, Jerron Peake. These aren't names that are sticking out.
I don't even know who those guys are, to be honest with you.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
And that's the Jets need to go out and draft a wide receiver, or you know what? Screw it at this point. Trade for a wide receiver.
Tank the season. Just build your team. Build your team through the draft. Look at the Cowboys. Look what they did.
I agree.
And
but
I never
appreciate the Cowboys had a quarterback.
Right, the Cowboys had a quarterback, exactly. That's where it all comes down to, the quarterback position. Who wins every year? Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers.
That's it. These are the guys who are
and
always...
now Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan got the Super Bowl. It's the quarterback. That is the position. You need an offensive line, but you need the quarterback also. The quarterback is the top.
I mean, Joe Flacco was the only one I think in the past 10 years who won a Super Bowl that you wouldn't expect. Him and Kaepernick are the only two quarterbacks that made a Super Bowl that you wouldn't that aren't megastars.
Listen, in the last 10, 15 years, there's a handful of quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, right? Maybe a little more. I'm trying to think of how many.
I think I said it on this podcast too.
Brady has 5. Roethlisberger has 2.
I think the last 10 or 15 AFC championships have been won by Roethlisberger, Brady, and I think there was one Joe Flacco.
Exactly. Peyton Manning.
And Peyton Manning was the third one. That's it.
Go.
And that's what I'm saying. These are big names.
So maybe 7 or 8 quarterbacks have won in the last 15 years. 7 or 8 different quarterbacks.
And if you're the Jets, you're not going after
them. And there are how many teams? Exactly.
Stupid
The Jets need to be smart this year, through the draft. And listen, this is a big year for everybody. Their GM, their coach, Todd Bowles. I like Todd Bowles.
Look, if there is a guy out there, I'm not a big college football fan, so I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on, but if there is a guy out there who looks like he's going to be the next big thing and the Jets are going to take a chance on him, that's fine, but they need to dump their quarterback.
I like Deshaun Watson from Clemson.
I know that's the guy that they've been talking about.
Mitchell Trubisky from North Carolina, but I like Deshaun Watson. I like it means something to come off to win a championship, and he reminds me a little of Dak Prescott. He's a winner. He's a winner. Yeah. So the Jets, oh man, we don't know. What do we think? What do majority of Jet fans want? What do they want in the draft in that first pick?
I don't think any Jets fans know what they want.
You don't know what they want. You don't know what you want.
I mean, personally, I would like to see a wide receiver. But the thing is that if they're my thing is if they're going to draft a quarterback, this is the year to do it.
I don't think
only because they have a top, they have a top pick. So they're going to if they get the best quarterback in the draft, I can't fault them for going after a quarterback.
It all started from that Buffalo game. Brian Fitzpatrick losing in that playoff game, losing to go to the playoffs. It all started from there. I blame him.
Seriously, that game was the downfall of this organization.
I agree. Well, the downfall of the organization. I mean,
I'm saying over the past couple of years,
but that was
because that team was on fire. The Jets were being projected to win the Super Bowl by
that was inexcusable. That game.
By
Rex Ryan got the last laugh. He got fired at the end of the day. But you know what? I'm sure he is. All he wanted was to take the Jets out of the playoffs.
The Jets became the Jets won that game. And just think about this, and this is what I always laugh about this. The Jets became the top underdog pick to win the Super Bowl that year. Think about that. Every line, every Vegas betting odds were saying that the Jets were the team because their defense was that good.
Yeah, but they didn't have a quarterback.
They had the quarterback that got them the most wins that they could get.
Right, but they weren't winning a Super Bowl.
I don't think anybody expected Fitzpatrick to win a Super Bowl, but they were good. Everybody said they were going to at least make the second round of the playoffs.
Let's be honest, Mangold, a guy like Mangold, I'm sure he loved New York. But he hasn't been signed yet, right? Is he?
I don't believe he hasn't been signed yet. I mean, I'd love to see him come back.
Yeah,
but
I don't know
it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
But I don't blame Brandon Marshall. For these guys.
Why would you?
Exactly.
Brandon Marshall's in the twilight of his career. Make the playoffs.
Jets are just they talk about. What do they rank in talent alone? They're not very. They're in the bottom tier of the league.
They are in the. I mean, bottom. I say bottom 5, and I give them that with bottom 5 being best case scenario.
Jets could be a 2-14 team next year.
The Jets could be. The Jets could be the Browns next year.
They could be,
and maybe not even win a game.
Yeah, they could be. But
I mean, the only saving grace is a guy like Matt Forte and Bilal Powell are talented enough in the backfield to help that team out to maybe win a couple of games.
Right.
And their defense is okay.
What about that? This guy, tight end, Jordan Howard from OJ Howard from Alabama. They say he's gonna be a top 5 pick. This
the
guy.
Jets don't use tight ends.
I know they don't use tight ends. I was saying who's the Jets tight end? I don't remember any of their tight ends.
Jeff Cumberland was like their tight end for
right, but it wasn't
year,
really exactly.
Who was their tight end?
I'm trying to think. Yeah. So.
And you talk about
maybe they should start using the tight end a little more.
I think so. There were 2 other guys I wanted to go over, and then we're gonna get into your biggest point that the Patriots already won the offseason.
Yeah.
Well, just really quick on the Jets, Dante Hightower. How do you let that guy walk out without a contract?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Stupid.
Right?
Stupid. And then he winds up re-signing with the Patriots.
Right?
Stupid.
Man, what a great pickup by the Patriots, huh? Right?
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
I'm sure Dante Hightower is very happy, okay?
He's probably ecstatic right now.
2 Super Bowl rings. He's going back. He's got a lot of money. He's going back to the best team in the league. He doesn't have to go anywhere.
Sad.
I honestly do blame him for not going to the Jets. Maybe he just didn't want to go to the Jets. Maybe they offered him a lot of more money, but he just didn't want to go there.
I don't blame him.
Maybe. We don't know.
Why would you want to go to a place like that?
Exactly,
So this is a small pickup, but he's gonna be their starter. Mike Lennon of the Bears. What did you think of that move?
Yeah, I never thought anything of Mike Lennon. What has he done in his career? I don't know. He's on a bad team. They have a running back. I like Jordan Howard. I think he's an upcoming running back. Now their number one guy now is Kevin White. Is he?
I guess so.
Their guy, but Mike Lennon, he hasn't proven anything to me. And he's played on Tampa. I don't know much about him. He's tall and he's skinny.
I mean, him and AJ McCarron were the wild cards in the quarterback race this year. I think the Bears.
I like AJ McCarron. I always liked him in college. He's a winner, but first of all, I don't blame AJ McCarron. Could have won a playoff game if Pac-Man Jones is in that playoff game against Pittsburgh. He wins a playoff game.
I agree.
I like McCarron. I like McCarron better than Glennon. I don't know what Glennon's going to do.
There's some controversy in Cincinnati saying that McCarron might actually stay on that team and be their number one. They might be looking to move on.
Move on from Andy Dalton.
I think Andy Dalton starts this year.
Andy Dalton's never won a playoff game either.
Well, what's you talked a lot about Marvin Lewis, saying that you don't understand how this guy keeps his job.
I don't understand. There's got to be something going on. I don't understand how the guy keeps his job. He hasn't won a playoff game and how he's been the coach there forever.
Yeah,
15, 18 years.
He always gets them there and can't do it.
How does he have a job? I don't understand.
That's a franchise that's going to go through a big facelift over the next 2 years.
Oh yeah. But AJ Green, I feel bad for a guy like him too. Such a talent, such a great receiver.
I'd love to see where he is on his contract because you got to think that once his contract's up, he's going to bolt.
I don't know.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good too. There's so many good receivers in this league. I love receivers.
Yeah, I know.
I love receivers because I play receiver in flag football, so I love receivers.
So I mean, that's Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
And the Titans made arguably the best defensive pickup, picking up Logan Ryan.
Yeah, Titans are making moves. I like they're an up-and-coming team. Like you said,
I love the Titans. I love their organization.
Yeah.
I love their team. I love
and DeMarco Murray's coming back.
DeMarco Murray's coming back. They have a weapon in Delaney Walker. Out of the tight end spot. They have a great quarterback in Mariota.
Yeah.
The Titans will be a contender this year. I think this is the year that they make the playoffs.
Yeah, this might be the year. We'll see. With that division's always very winnable. We'll see when Andrew Luck comes back. We'll see how he does.
I mean, if Andrew Luck doesn't come back this year,
people seem to forget about Andrew Luck. He's kind of weird. It doesn't seem like he's.
Yeah, he was such a polarizing quarterback for 3 years, and then all of a sudden,
I want to see him win. He's that guy.
He might be that guy, like a guy like a Matt Ryan, who is not going to, who's going to constantly being put into.
But you can't blame the guy who never spectrum. Had until he gets that offensive line.
Yeah,
and you give him a big time receiver.
Well, you want to talk about offensive lines? This is the reason why I don't think the Jets should draft a quarterback. They have no offensive line.
Just don't have anything.
But that's the thing for a team like the Colts. You have that quarterback. How do you not bolster your offensive line?
I don't understand what they were doing. Why they?
It's the same thing. It's like look at the Cowboys. They went out.
They fired their GM this offseason.
Oh, it was the smartest move they could do because they're not making good.
They should build their offensive line this draft.
And look what the Cowboys did.
Yeah.
Look at Dak Prescott. There were times where it looked like he had a half an hour to throw. Sometimes.
I never appreciated offensive line. Over the years, I started appreciating more with the Cowboys. I never because they're not flashy, but I appreciate so much more after seeing what the Cowboys did in the draft. How great their offensive line was built through the draft. Basically their whole offensive line, center, all pros, center, left tackle, and their guard, and Zach Martin. You got Tyron Smith, and you got Frederick. And they just picked up Jonathan Cooper, and they got what's his name, Lionel Collins. Yeah.
It's a monster. It's a monster fit and it's great for a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back to play. And if you're the reason why I brought up the Jets again, because I hate harping on my horrible team, but everybody keeps talking about quarterback, but a team like the Colts proves that you could have a quarterback like Andrew Luck, even without the biggest weapons in the world. Andrew Luck is a good enough quarterback to make some wide receivers look better than they really are.
Right.
And without an offensive line, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, nobody on that offensive line is flashy.
No,
but
not at all.
But they get the job done.
They're the Patriots.
Well, speaking of it, let's get into it, Avi. You said that they won the offseason so far.
It's crazy.
Tell me why.
It is crazy to me. Why? It's just, how are they so smart? I don't know how they do it. They trade. What do they give away for Brandon Cooks? Nothing. They give away nothing for Brandon Cooks. They get Hightower back. Who else? Am I missing somebody? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Well, they traded for a tight end.
Right.
They picked up Dwayne Allen.
Another smart move.
Dwayne Allen's been on a little bit of a decline in his career.
They're just smart. They think like Gronkowski. We don't know where he's at now.
Right, and then this is a good compliment.
They lose Bennett.
And then
they get Dwayne Allen, who's probably going to be Bennett this year. You know,
and he's going to have a career resurgence.
But they're the best team that got better. They are better on paper this year than they were last year.
And they re-signed Dante Hightower.
I mean, yeah. I thought the Cowboys. It's going to be Cowboys Patriots next year in the Super Bowl, but. And Brady's getting better too. Where he's
guy is not a football player. He's an Android program to play football.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Here's the thing. This is actually
not fair anymore.
This is actually going to be the thing for the Patriots, though, and this is what's going to keep them going. And this is actually going to be a big thing for the Cowboys in a couple of years because I think they're going to be that successful. Players will take pay cuts to go to teams that are going to win because they want to get a ring. Look what LeBron James did. These are the things that guys like Dante Hightower might have taken a pay cut. Right. Dwayne Allen, Brandon Cooks goes to a monster team. Dwayne Allen, is in the twilight of his career, right now. Didn't he was kind of half and half all last year, and he's gonna be a monster this year. It's if I hate to say this because I hate the team, but if I was a player in the NFL right now and I got told I can go to any team, I would want to go to the Patriots.
As much as you hate the Patriots, but I'm thinking you want to go to the Patriots? You're probably going to be in the Super Bowl. Most likely, you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. To play in the Super Bowl, how awesome is that? And probably win it. Play with the best quarterback ever. The best coach.
Yep.
It's just crazy how they just make these moves. It's just like that.
Hurts my heart.
And they got better, and the Jets got worse.
Hurts my heart.
It hurts your heart. Like I said, it's true. Brady, Belichick, that combo, as long as it's around, nobody is beating and taking them down in that division.
Nope.
Nobody's taking them down, honestly. They're the clear favorites in the AFC this year.
They're the clear favorites to win the Super Bowl almost every year.
Yeah. Definitely. I just want to give the Cowboys a chance to play them in the Super Bowl.
I'd like to see the Cowboys win a playoff game this year.
I want to see Romo go with the Jets so we can play Brady, beat the Patriots a couple times. That'd be cool.
Look, I'm all for it. Those are the biggest names. There's a lot of other guys out there. We're going to see a lot of, in a couple.
Oh, we didn't talk about the biggest name Jets pick up.
You mean their kicker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good signing by them.
Yeah, they let go of Nick Folk.
How did we miss that? That was probably the biggest. That was a pickup of the offseason right there.
They're so disgusting.
Chandler Catanzaro. But that's a good. He's gonna take him places. We'll see. You'll see. He'll get some big kicks this year.
This is such a disgusting franchise.
And first of all, that's like the only kicking signing I saw. It was just like Jet sign. That was the only kicking signing I saw this whole.
I think there was another one. I think there
was
another one, but
the only one I saw was.
Blair Walsh got signed by Seattle.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hauschka might have. I don't know if they moved on from
That's
Hauschka.
True. They might move on from him.
But I know Blair Walsh got signed, and there was another one. There was actually another.
Maybe the Jets will draft a kicker or a punter this year.
First round.
First round. Do it.
Do it.
The Raiders, Janikowski, first round pick.
Screw it. I don't even care anymore. The thing is that I know this team's not going to be good for 3 years.
Yeah.
They're not going to be good for 3 years.
They have to rebuild. They can't fool the Jets fan. They can't say, "Oh, we're going for."
They keep saying we're not rebuilding this year. Listen, yes, you are. Shut up.
This might be the worst going into the season. This is a bad Jets team.
This is the worst Jets team that I can remember seeing.
I don't see how Revis wants to stay there. Doesn't Revis want out? No, wants to finish on the Jets.
He might because I think that
they're moving
because
safety.
of the money.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't think Revis stays there.
Right,
they're rebuilding. They're not. I don't think they're going to keep his contract.
Think about it. This is a very.
And I don't understand why Ryan Clady still has a job.
No talent.
Why is Ryan Clady still on that team?
I don't know.
God, it's just everything they're doing. Just I would much rather re-sign Nick Mangold than have Ryan Clady still there. It's just.
I'm thinking about now. Even the I'm thinking about now. The Jets, they're bad. Even the Niners are making moves. Niners are making a lot of moves. They got new management, new coach.
Unless the Jets surprise us, in the last couple of weeks.
Hey, listen, Jets might get a number 1 pick in the draft next year. Maybe
top
that's 2, top 3. I think they're going to be top 3.
Maybe they're going to tank the season this year.
I think they might. I really do. I don't see how unless they get a quarterback like Romo or. But what's the point, honestly? The Jets. What's the best case scenario for the Jets this year? 6 games, 7 games, maybe.
That's the thing.
What's the point of winning that? Really?
And that's the reason why I just don't think they should go after. I'd love to see Romo in a Jets uniform, but I don't think they should go after Romo. They shouldn't go after Cutler. They shouldn't go after Kaepernick. They shouldn't go after McCown.
I agree.
Give Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg. They're your quarterback. Those are your quarterbacks this year. It's disgusting. It sounds like crap.
It does.
But you know what? The thing is that you're not going to be successful. Give them a shot. Give both of them a shot. Let each of them start 6 games. See how they do. Let the better one plays the remaining.
I just don't. I don't like the sound of that. That's gonna be brutal to watch.
It's gonna be
AJ McCarron, maybe. I don't know.
Why?
Get Dalton. Maybe get
Why?
Dalton. I don't know why.
Why?
Yeah, no, it's no
they
point.
They don't have.
They're in trouble, man.
They're not going to get an offensive line.
They're in trouble, man.
It's going to be terrible. I think
going to be a few years for them.
Just bomb the season. Honestly, they should have actually. If they were smart, they should trade.
You don't have to tell them to bomb the season. They're going to be bad. They're going to be bad.
They should trade Matt Forte to a running back hungry team.
The Jets
a team like the Bucks.
I want to see the Jets do in the draft.
Get a couple of picks.
Maybe Jets draft a running back. There's a good running back this year from Florida State, Dalvin Cook.
That's been the guy that's been on the Jets radar for a while.
A lot of talented guys this year. This is deep
Which
draft.
is why I think why aren't the Jets doing something smart like trading a guy like Forte for a 2nd round pick to like the Bucks?
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible team. I don't want to talk about them anymore. It's so bad.
That's all right, Albert.
It's a shame.
It'll be okay.
It's going to be a really long season. My wife's a Patriots fan and I'm a Jets fan. It's just not good in my household.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Well, unless you have anything else. Do you have anything else? Maybe we shouldn't end on such a dejecting note.
What can we end on? I just came back from vacation. It was a lot of fun.
How was vacation?
Miami was great.
Well, you want to talk about football, a polarizing football figure? You got to see.
I got to see Tebow. At practicing for the Mets. It was really cool. He throws baseball like he did a football, but
so not well.
I like Tebow. Now everybody bashed Tebow. Yeah, he couldn't play quarterback. I don't like him, but now you get to see him. I'm rooting for the guy. To do well. He's pursuing his passion, which he wanted. Baseball was his first passion. He's not going to make the majors. There's no way in hell he's going to make the majors. But
here's my opinion on Tim Tebow. I had a bad taste in my mouth about Tim Tebow because I knew I was going to be right that he wasn't going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. A lot of my friends were talking about him and being like this really big quarterback, and I said no quarterback who has to change his throwing motion from college to the NFL is going to be successful.
Right.
And he had a good first year, and then after that, we saw who Tim Tebow really was. The thing I respect about Tim Tebow is he's an amazing human being.
Right.
And that's where I think that Tim Tebow is, That's where his heart lies. He is a great person, and for all the stuff that he does, I'm appreciative of who Tim Tebow is.
Yeah, good, nice words to end the show, and hopefully we'll be doing some new things to the show coming up.
Yeah. We're gonna try to work out a couple of things, see what works.
So you can see our pretty faces.
Yeah. You might actually, you guys who just listened might actually get to see Avi's face. It is glorious.
Oh, Albert. Albert's a good-looking fellow too.
Oh well, thank you.
No problem.
A couple of good-looking guys on the show. So for the opening whistle, I'm Albert Albanese.
And I'm Avi Schiffman.
And we'll see you guys next time here on the opening whistle. Thanks for listening to The Opening Whistle, which is a part of the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. You can find us on Twitter @The Slam Sessions. We'll see you guys next time.